Hello and welcome to We Hate Skill Windows, a podcast about hating skill windows. My name is Rai,
I'm Chris.
and this week we are reviewing The Player Who Cannot Level Up. This is a webtoon and manhwa about a player who, you're already familiar with the setting. This is the generic type of story where you start out, one day gates appeared over town, and throughout the world, this whole system called rankers and hunters started to arrive, and hunters gain powers, and powers further your ability to explore the gates. It's basically the same thing. I think this time they've got a tower, but it's the same stuff. If you're familiar with solo leveling or any other major power fantasy manhwa out there, then you will be pretty familiar with this plot. Does not do too many changes, except for the main character. This time, the main character, instead of being just super weak all the time, he is super weak, but he does not have the ability to level up. Everyone else in the world has the ability to level up and gain stronger powers and abilities by killing monsters. When he kills monsters, he gains nothing. Until one day. And through having no other choice but to go up into the tower, he realizes that he could have just gone up the tower anytime he wanted to and gains power that way. And for the next 100 or so chapters, he continues gaining power, and eh, it's just, it's his journey, I guess, and we're just being taken along by the ride or something. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. You wanna try to explain? Give me your
Oh,
thoughts, Chris.
on this one, so honestly, it started out pretty generically, and I wasn't really sure what the main character was gonna do. Oh,
I mean,
honestly,
yeah, he is sort of generic. He's got like a mom
yeah,
that's in the hospital, his younger sister who's like working hard to make ends meet because he's like a deadbeat last failure of a son. Very nationalistic
yeah.
Korean identities and values thrown in there. All the other
Oh my,
nations are pieces of shit. It is
I
your standard, like, I don't know, the solo leveling patented, like, sob story. I don't know.
like,
It's like
yeah, you're
copy
right.
and paste template solo leveling, except
It's
like
just,
the impact is lessened because you've already read solo leveling probably by the time you've heard of this one.
yeah. They're also just way more, I don't know, so blatantly racist. I don't know if it was the translation or if that was actually, but what I was reading was pretty, pretty rough.
Every
Like the
time I
author
read
really,
on Asura, I'm like, is it the translation or is it the actual author? Is the author of this rude or is it the translation? Is Asura just making things worse because they just do not care? Or is it, good question.
like,
Very good question.
it's so, every foreigner except for like two were like so racist. I was so, like, one of them was Asian too. I was like, how could you be racist against your own people?
Well,
This is
hold on. Are
like,
we talking about like Rogers or whatever?
yeah, Rogers.
Okay, first of all, let's just get the cat out of the bag or whatever the fuck the saying is. Rogers does not look Asian. I understand that he's apparently nationality is Korean, but like the guy looks like he's like Germanic in origin. He's got
Yeah,
like
you're
dirty
right.
blonde hair that goes up down to his shoulders, and it's like he just looks like he's like a displaced time Viking. I don't know. Like I understand that they're saying he's Korean, and I understand that white people exist in Korea, but like I don't think his like family's from Korea, based on how he's drawn. Unless he's just supposed to be very like deluded Korean,
But his
like
last
his
name's Han.
yeah, he could have. I guess he could be half, maybe, but the guy
Yeah.
does not look half. I know this is quite racist in myself to say this, but the man looks white. and he acts white. So, what point are we getting across here? He's Korean, but
I
he's super derogatory towards other Koreans, and he joined an American guild, and I don't know, hates children. He's just like Trump. Oh man, like what? I don't know. The
uh,
Yeah. Wait. Well, how many foreigners have we met? We got the Vatican guy. We have the Iron Shield people. Have we met any other foreigners?
no.
Technically, nope. They're the only ones.
Well, the Athena Guild, I guess, a little bit.
I've forgotten about who they are. Uh, there's a lot of guilds that float around with names of gods. Like the Koreans have like the Hephaestus Guild. But they don't show up
Yeah.
basically at
They don't
all.
do anything. They're just
None of
it's
the
like they just
major
talk
10 guilds
once.
do anything really. Uh,
Honestly.
they're just like optional side characters that don't have quest lines because the main
They're like
storyline is so big and fat that it sits on top of every other storyline and like crushes
I
them
know.
beneath their weight. It,
Honestly.
I sort of would have wanted to have a bit more fleshed out on like the ice guy. Forgot his name.
Oh, Snail. Yeah, it seems like they were gonna have some sort of like friendship, but he
For
just
for the
disappears.
for the first time in a while, I agree with you, Chris. They, you know how this one they show that they're like basically brothers. I don't know how the fuck they are. They've shown literally no reason for me to grow attached to this character, and yet it like Kim Gigi would like die for this guy. I actually do not know why. Because apparently, like he helped him, the ice guy, Kim Gigi, the main character, helped the ice guy while he was still like a can't level up just guide on the first floor. And then apparently since then they became friends or something. But
I don't think that's actually what happens though.
didn't or wait, no, didn't yeah, hold on. Main character was in the same test, right?
Or no,
As Ice
so
Guy? And then Ice Guy
Ice
became
Guy was
awakened.
just Ice Guy was just in the room when the main character found out he had a power. And then
Ah,
the Ice Guy was like, "Oh my God, it's another unique ability of Retainer. He must be like really OP. Let me show him to how it's done." And then cut to present.
ah. Cut to present. He got
Actually, there was a little
scammed.
bit more hyping of unique ability retainers,
Yeah, we get told that they're like really rare and
and
everyone.
that they.
Okay, well, hold on. Let me just ask this. In this world where, you can manifest any ability basically, how the fuck has Kim Gigio. How is he the only one with a conditional power?
Mm,
How, or rather, how was he the only one who could not discover his conditional power until way fucking later, like 5, 6 years down the line? Because I refuse to believe that everyone else just got like actives, basically, right? In a game sense of things. Like, how the hell did everyone else in the world gain an active ability, and Kim Gigio just has like a passive that triggers upon entering higher floors? You would think that he would have like, I don't know, fuck, man, have the ice guy carry him through a level, go up a floor. Wow, bam, congrats, you figure out the test. Like, I don't know. But apparently, he just resolved or decided that his life was only worth like sitting on the floor and killing one goblin per day.
honestly, yeah.
I, if I was if I was told that I have like a legendary class ability or a unique class, whatever the fuck, I would have been like, okay, well, time to like QA test myself, you know? Time to like really figure out
Honestly,
what makes it happen. Oh, I didn't get it through killing experience. Cool. Is there another way? Is it potion making? Let's try that. Like, let's not give up. No, the guy gave up. He gave up really, really hard, and
honestly,
like did not even bother trying to figure out what his abilities were. If I was him, I'd definitely not give up. I don't know. Even if the thing was lying to me, it's like, oh, you have a unique ability, but it's not actually unique. You have the unique ability to not have an ability or something. I don't know. At the very least, I try to not give up on that. Especially since he's got a mom in the hospital, but instead he's like, okay, well, I guess I'll just be a guide and like help the newbies, and maybe one day they'll come out and have drinks with me. I say all that, but yeah, it's pretty human of him to give up, honestly. I can understand. It's like, going on like a 10 lose streak in league. Your mental dies, right? I don't know.
Mm,
Probably the same thing. He's Korean, he'll understand.
mm.
uh, um, yeah, I don't know. How did he like his, yeah, let's discuss what, the podcast is supposed to discuss. Skill windows. How we liking them? He's got them. Everyone's got them.
Uh, it's, it's kind of weird. I kind of hate how he's like specific skill names and then he like uses them from his
I don't remember
skill window.
exactly, but does he does this world have a system? Is there like gods that govern the system? Is that how this one's set up? I don't actually remember. Did they ever explain it actually? I'm not sure if they did.
They kind of showcase how there's like
I mean,
a
there's like
creator.
gods and demons and
Yeah,
angels,
there's
but
like lords.
uh
They rule over the tower. They're like somewhere at the top. They just
oh,
like
I see.
the tower just goes through every world
Yeah,
ever.
so I guess in that case, Tower is probably authority, and authority then bestows skill windows because measly humans cannot understand the powers they contain or some shit. That's what I can assume.
Yeah,
Yeah.
probably.
But I mean, at least this time, everyone can access a skill window. Everyone can see each other's skill windows, I think. Or I'm not actually sure if everyone else can see each other's skill windows. But
Oh.
you know that multiple people have skill windows. Uh for context, I really just read up to the part where he fights Rogers. Uh and at one point it's like, open your skill window, dumbass. And Rogers literally like opens his skill window in front of him. And I don't know how, but
Yeah.
the main character is able to see that he's like gone back to level 1. But I don't know if that's just us seeing it and the main character just being like, ah, yeah, you're just weak now, or if he can actually see other people's skill windows. I don't know. It's not really explained. You'll learn that a lot of things are not really explained in this one. I love it in particular where, multiple times where he meets with someone powerful and he tries to ask questions. They're like, oh, I can't actually tell you that answer, but if you keep climbing the tower, you'll eventually get to the answer. So good luck. And
Well,
that's
they
how they
explain why they
explain.
say that.
I don't know. The Demon King was like, it was like so like asking questions about the tower and about like Ball and everything. It's like, oh well, we actually can't explain anything, but here's a explanation for one of your questions, and then
Well,
everything else is
they say that the tower restricts information to you, so that if you receive information that you're not
yeah,
supposed to know, you get like a huge migraine.
yeah, yeah. Feel like they stole that from an Omniscient Reader. I'm not saying Omniscient Reader was the only one to have that, but they. I
Well, yeah.
Omniscient Reader definitely had the concept. I feel like that a lot of people also took from. And then now we just have these like amalgamation comics where it's both of solo levelings, like main character has a system level up world, and the hunter gatherer, or not hunter gatherer, like hunter ranker ability power thing.
Gates.
And then a
Yes.
lot of them also incorporate like, oh, the goddess who fucking wields a pineapple in her right hand smiles upon you and gives you 10 coins. And I don't like it. It's guys are just taking the shit from the stuff that already exists and being like, oh, it's like the memes where people are like, oh, like, don't mind me just saving this meme for later, or like, oh, is that your meme and that's my meme now, or whatever. It's like you're just blatantly stealing their concept and being like, well, if it works for you, it must work for me. And the worst part is it does work.
It's I think a lot of these authors saw what solo leveling did and what Mashimi did, and they're like, we can do that too. And
I
then they
mean,
did it
yeah, but
too.
like, what happened to original story writing? Fuck, man, it's all the same stuff. At this point, you know what? Yeah, actually, instead of shitting on it, maybe I'll just write
Yeah, make your own
something.
power fantasy.
Yeah, I'll make my Power Fantasy template. I'll have, the main character who's got a sick mom, sister who's working her ass off to support the family. The main character's really, really weak and has no powers and is basically getting shit on by the world and then yeah, discovers
Oh,
some
he has to be
unique
bullied.
power. Yeah, to have been bullied in high school. He must have had worn glasses to blend in so he wouldn't seem like an alpha male. Yes, yes. And then he must, what was it? He must have like spatial awareness. What was his power? Oh no, reading the room.
Oh,
Sorry.
man,
Got what it was called. It was like social awareness? No, that's not it. Spatial awareness? No, reading the room. His unique superpower. Uh, yeah. You know, maybe I'll like apply to an esports position. And I'll put on my resume unique skills or like skills and programs, and I'll be like map awareness. They'll really like me after that one. They'll be like, "Oh man, this guy's got map awareness. That's better than most of our players in the organization. Holy shit, we've got to grab him." Yeah. I mean, you got any complaints about this one? I guess. Isn't that what we usually
oh,
do?
it's so many. Oh my god.
Oh, go ahead. Be my guest.
I I hated the entire Rogers arc. I don't know why it existed, honestly.
What do you mean? Revenge. Very
Revenge.
stupid revenge. Very, very biased revenge. The fact that the Korean Association would go this far for one fucking person. But, yes, revenge. What you hate about it?
I
Is it
know.
like
Just
the
all the
convenient
dialogue.
timing of the Iron Guild establishing a Korean branch for absolutely no other reason besides that Rogers basically, like, begged for
Wanted
revenge?
revenge. Yeah. And Rogers didn't even need revenge.
He
It
didn't.
was
He really didn't. I don't know
he
why
could have
Rogers needed revenge.
honestly.
He
It
got
was
beat. He should have. I mean, but these characters are not written to be morally just. They're written to be advancement pieces for the main character, after all. So,
his guildmaster got his freaking leg torn off. Nothing happened to Rogers. Oh,
well, the guildmaster got his leg torn off by the Demon King,
yeah.
but I think the Demon King only gave a shit about or not Rogers, the Iron Guild leader. So I don't think
Yeah.
Rogers was like on her, even in her peripheral. He probably didn't even
Yeah.
like pay attention that he was alive. No,
Like
she did
Rogers.
though. Wait, but she did. She definitely commented on how like Kim Kikyu was so like intent on killing him. And like,
Yeah.
wow, a beginner couldn't have done this or something. He must have stronger willpower than he thought. Or something. Yeah, and then I guess she just left him alone and fucked off. Took a
Yeah.
leg and was like, alright, my job here is done. Goodbye.
The entire arc. All the stupid dialogue was horrible. Freaking the way every
Oh,
single time
stupid.
any of the Iron Shield members like literally opened their mouth, it was always say something derogatory about Korea. Like, is that
Yeah. You liked how
was that
all the guild
necessary?
members that came with Rogers were equally as racist and stupid?
Honestly, they were all like, I didn't think such a small, tiny country could have
Small,
freaking.
pitiful country would need help with a dungeon break of this level. Wow,
Oh my
these
god.
weak, pitiful fuckers calling us in for something like this? You can't even deal with this? To be
It's
fair,
like,
I don't think the guild dungeon break was very good. I think he should have like trained his skeletons more to make it more convincing. Even in the art, it was like these guys are all like such small fry. Why is it just like skeletons? I don't know. I feel like he could have made it more convincing. Give your skeletons cooler armor, I don't know.
something.
But obviously, the artists are not gonna go and draw 100 skeletons with different armor. That would be too painful. So yes, copy and paste. But still, sort of wish. I wish the army looked cooler. I don't know. This was very suspicious. I'm surprised that everyone didn't bat an eye and just decided to help him along. I'm surprised that 3 major guilds showed up and all decided to form an alliance with the fucker just to help him get his revenge.
Yeah, they killed so many people. Like,
They
how is
actually
everyone
killed
okay with
everyone
this?
in the branch, I'm pretty sure, right?
Yeah,
Every
every
single
single
Iron
one.
Shield branch member who arrived in Korea got killed. Ordinary
I'm just,
people killed other ordinary people for the sake of one man's revenge.
it
These guild
is
members didn't do
so.
shit. They just joined the wrong guild. They died for this man, for Rogers, or for Kim Gi-gyu's revenge.
Uh, the entire arc was such a mess. It was just terrible.
You like the part at the end where it's like, oh, don't worry, I didn't give him a holy sword. I gave him a corrupted holy sword. Oh, ho, ho. Ah, ah, I there there exists another webcomic by the name of I think SSS Class Suicide Hunter. I know the name is horrible. But the main character in that also possesses like I don't remember what he possesses exactly, but it's like I think he possesses like a sword or something. I don't remember. He possesses something that can like grow stronger and can feel fragments of I'm pretty sure it's another like holy sword concept. And main character can like talk with the sword and the sword has like fragments otherwise in the world. I think that's a thing, but I don't know. Basically, I've seen his concept happen before. I'm used to it. If this came out before, or if I read this before solo leveling and before Omniscient Reader, I may have wanted to care more. Now reading it after reading those, it's like, okay, well, this is just sort of like a shittier copy with the same sad characters, and it it just
All the same BS.
it really is all the same PS. The main character doesn't know who his dad is. His dad's like shrouded in shadow. He's never seen him before. Probably left the family at a young age. Went to get milk and fucking never came back. Wow, are you basically just solo leveling main character? Like, how much more parallels are you drawing here? Are you telling me every Korean kid who's had like a deadbeat dad and a single mother who's collapsed and like in bed and like dying, are they all gonna awaken their superpowers at some point? Because it sure seems like that's the recipe for success here.
That's good.
Yeah. Did you like any of the other arcs since you didn't like the Rogers arc? What about the Vatican arc? What
Vatican
about the
arc.
Botus arc that just wrapped up? What about the
Oh,
really weird arc where the craftsman guy, the like grandfather and his like whole like grandfather, his son and his like grandson are involved in this like really bizarre conflict that the main character is not really explaining, and the conflict doesn't get explained, and then they turn a living person into an ego. How about that one? Yeah,
I don't know. They're okay.
I feel like
They're so.
it's such a trope to in the first place have like a weapons master or a armor smith or some like legendary craftsman
Be
be
indebted
like
to you.
yeah, not only that, but like you're the only person who discovers their shop. You're like the only
Yeah,
patron. It's such a like cliche, right? Like even in like video games you
yeah.
have this sometimes where you explore a town and it's like, "Oh, well come over here. We've got like all these cool things." And some other guy shows up and like, "Shut the fuck up, old man. Your shop's going to shit." And then you can like I don't know, help him, and then he shows you to his like back room, and it's like legendary weapons on display. It's like, oh yeah, no one ever comes here, so you're the first person to discover this. But like, I I don't think that's true. I feel like that it doesn't make sense. In the other one that we read, I forgot what it was called. We did read it, I think, right? It was like, oh man, I forgot the other one. There was another one we read that was like similar to this. Uh
Oh, the one with the blind guy?
yeah. Blind weaponsmith. Forgot his name, forgot the thing. Return of the Shattered Constellation, that's
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Oh,
So in Return of the Shattered Constellation, if you recall correctly, there is, if I recall correctly at least, there is like a blind armor smith who also apparently is descended from like a long established line of armor smiths and weaponsmiths. And except he's just like now like blind guy with dog, like starving on the
yeah.
streets apparently. And apparently his shop like doesn't exist. I don't know what the fuck he does for a living. But before the main character discovered him, apparently he just like existed. And then after the main character found him and like gave him a shit ton of money, he creates like the most legendary artifacts known to man. It doesn't make sense. Even in like the S classes that I raised, could be the equivalent of like him finding the one craftsman and being like, "All right, go and
Yeah.
sharpen 100,000 knives for me, please. Thank you." Like all of these characters, I I just wish I'm not saying they can't exist, right? Because it's cool to have that, right? Like it's always cool to have those characters because like, oh man, oh, like you've discovered like the basically cheat code and now your main character can get super cool powers and weapons and they're like a comrade. But like it's so fucking common. I obviously, you don't have to go on out of your way to write a story where the main character interacts with only mediocre blacksmiths and something like that, but I just wish it wasn't so copy paste every time.
Yeah.
But you know what? If it sells well this way, maybe that really is the way to go. Like maybe I've just been approaching this from the wrong angle. Honestly, at the end of the day, studios are trying to like write stories to sell, right? So
Mm.
if this is the way to do it, and this is the best way they can make something sell better, you know what? Pop off, go for it. Let's just saturate the world with this shit. It works. People enjoy reading it, even if it's stupid. It it is the only way to do it. I think maybe, at least in the power fantasy
I'm not,
genre.
I don't know if the trope is like necessary. I feel like it's not a core power fantasy tenet.
It's quickly becoming one. I feel. I feel like it's quickly becoming like, okay, well, new power fantasy just dropped. Wow,
The
it's
animals
it's
attack.
good. It's got the solo leveling structure of one day portals appeared all over the world. They are called gates, and out of gates came monsters. And people who fought the gates and came in and killed monsters, they gained powers. With these powers, they quickly created an association called the Hunters Association. And, that's like one template. The other template is one day monsters started attacking the world and then all of a sudden people gained powers, but it wasn't Gates. Instead, the gods descended and started talking to people like fucking through chat rooms and shit. And all of a sudden you have like a guy walking around on the street and it's like the lizard who transcends time and space gives you 10 coins and says that you should associate with this patronage. I don't know. And then, the owl that pierces through 1,000 nights. It's just, just, maybe if I hadn't read Omniscient Reader, I would have been like, wow, so unique, so cool. But even if that, I would have read through like 10 of these and would have been like, okay, I'm tired. Can you stop talking about how, okay, sorry, I have to tangent real fast. I swear this is probably just me, but like if you are listening still to this and you also have seen these comments, I'm talking specifically on like webtoons.com. A lot of people will comment on Omniscient Reader chapters and they'll say something along the lines of like, the tired salaryman with a 9 to 5 job tips 5 coins and says, "What a great chapter! Can't wait to see more."
I've seen so many
I
votes.
fucking hate it. I hate it. Okay, take your fucking cringe roleplay and put it somewhere else. Do not stick that shit in the comment section. I swear, fuck. It's so annoying. Asura people don't do it as much. I think because Asura people are a bit more cringe aware. But I swear to fuck, there are so many of them, and they all like talk to each other like that. You'll see one of them type like that, and the other comments are like, "Oh, the school teacher with a 6-year-old son replies," and you know, I just. But they're usually not even that. They're not usually not even that grounded. They're usually like, "Oh, the if their username is like I don't know, like I don't know, Sparkle Pony." They'll be like, "Oh, the I can't think of things on the fly. The stallion of the thousand bloom comments and why you guys are not part of this. Stop it. Put your stupid shit down. Stop your bullshit. Just comment like a normal human being and just say that was a good chapter. That's all you have to do. Do not preface this with like the praying mantis with the kickboxing boxing strength of 1,000 men. Comments down below or gives 10 coins to omniscient reader. No, you do not gift anything to anyone unless you are actually paying coins for the fast pass. Then in that case, yeah, I suppose you are gifting coins away. But I don't want to see that shit. It's I nothing makes me cringe harder. I it's like a whole other level of delusion. Except it's brought on by omniscient reader that sort of causes this to happen. But like, there's nothing happy about me seeing this in other stuff. Return of the Shattered Constellation being one that also has a bunch of like cryptic fucking names of people talking to the main characters if they're worth anything. They're not. They're just names.
Yeah.
And ultimately they're just gods. I would have actually preferred it if it was straight up just like Athena messages or Athena says this or, Jormungandr says this. I would have honestly preferred it if someone just took that trope and was just like, what if we just didn't refer to everyone as cryptic pieces of shit? What if that was just not the trope, huh? But it is the trope, so that's one of the other pillars. Have those cringy fucking names. And quickly, I think this thing is rising past any other. Where, like, instead of, I died and I came back to life in the body of someone from a different era, now it's just one
Hateful again.
day, monsters appeared at the gates in the world. My life was never the same. And I probably attained some unique power, but it's like really bullshit. I don't understand how to use it. I don't know.
Yeah.
See, like, even in SSS class Suicide Hunter, have you read that one actually?
Mm,
I've definitely recommended it to you at some point, but I don't know if you actually read it.
I might have read it, but I don't like. There's a bunch of things that I read that I think about occasionally, but I don't remember anything about their title or stuff.
Cool. Let's assume that you don't remember enough about it. You want to like guess what SSS class Suicide Hunter main character's power is?
Uh, does he reincarnate?
Well, sorta. You guessed it. His power is suicide. Namely, if he okay, so no, his power is like the same as a lot of other not solo leveling, but what else does this? I guess like solo max level newbie has this, a few other ones like that. His power is to like take other people's powers. So you know, it's the sort of generic, usual one, right? But he has the ability to like, I think it's like same sort of thing. If you fulfill X condition, you can steal like X ability, but the ability you gain is random. It's literally word for word what like solo max level UV also operates on. But early on in the story, he steals the power of this like guy who is like a real piece of shit, and I think the guy also kills him in the original timeline. But he steals the power of the guy who kills him, and the guy's power is that every time he dies, he can turn back time like X time frame, like 24 hours, I think, something
Oh,
like that, 24 hours before he like died, or something like that. But the main character realizes that if he turns back time hard enough, he can actually like reverse time through like basically ending his own life over and over until he rewinds time like to a sufficient amount. And
to
because he
do that?
knows that the flame guy, well, there's like a guy with fire powers, and he's the guy who like originally had this power, and fire guy kills him in his like current timeline. So even though he's got this power now to turn back time, he can only turn it back 24 hours, and he knows in 24 hours he's gonna die again. So what does he do? He basically just offs himself IRL enough that he turns back time. I think at least a few years, which sucks. Imagine I can't. Uh, but he literally turns rewinds physically like by himself tediously 24 hours at a time rewinds time back to a point where the flame guy literally didn't even have powers, and then he goes up to the flame guy and like kills him.
That's kind of funny, actually.
It's really really stupid. It's really stupid because I but you know what, at least it's sort of innovative, right? I don't know, like at least that's
Yeah.
sort of interesting. And also the writing of that one is actually quite good. There's an arc later where he enters this like Murim world that's like dying and becomes the pupil of like the last heavenly demon or something. And it's honestly like word writing wise, and I guess props to the translators there, is like on par with I think like solo leveling writing, which is a pretty big statement to say I think. But basically it's good writing. But yeah, the premise is really stupid. I don't know. Basically, I just want things to be more original and less tropey. But tropey is how we run in these industries, I think. Because honestly, if we think about it, like even if we talk about like normal like writing, like not webtoons or manhwa, just like normal publications, novels, say. Pretty sure they all follow like some sort of structure, right? Like every big one. Like children's novels probably all arguably also follow a structure. A lot of like
Yeah,
American novels for kids, like growing up, that I read. Like I don't remember what it's called. I think it's like The Golden Compass or something. I think.
oh, the hero's journey.
I don't know. The one with the polar bear, right? I think.
Wait, what?
No. Hold on. Hero's
No, I'm
Journey?
confused.
Wait. Are you just talking about the hero's journey as in like the hero's journey as the template? Or is the hero's
Yeah.
yeah. The hero's journey is a template. Um Hold on. The Golden Compass is what I'm thinking of. Hold on. Yeah. Golden Compass is a book series. Uh
What?
wait, maybe not.
What is this
The Golden
polar
Compass was
bear?
a movie. Wait, I didn't remember this as a movie though. Well, it's a movie with a
It
polar
probably is a
bear.
book too.
It is also a book series, but it's apparently based on the Northern Lights or the Golden Compass. Yeah. Okay, so it is a book series. Okay. older book series apparently. Apparently published in 1995. Damn, that's from a whole different era. Oh boy. Uh,
Not from my time, I see.
yeah, before our times both. Um, but I definitely read this as a kid. It was like just a young adult fiction series, and I just yeah, I remember there was like a girl with a polar bear. But a lot of these, I don't know why, they also I mean honestly, if you think about it, a lot of these are also just isekais. If you think about it. Um
Mm.
did you ever read like Magic, I think it was called?
Yes,
With like a
MAGYK.
yeah, yeah, GYK. Yeah, and then like
Yes, that was a great series.
that was the series where things make it like no sense. But yeah, there's magic and
Nicholas Flamel, I think.
yeah, Silas Heap, Septimus Heap. I barely
Oh
remember what
yeah,
happened in this. I'm looking at the
Septimus.
Wikipedia, but oh god,
Oh,
this did not make
what?
sense, I think.
Oh,
No, yeah, this is just a
Artemis
magical world,
Fowl.
right? This is just a magical world where everyone's got magic. Um, except there was like a swapping at birth or something. I think that's roughly the gist of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. This is a cool one. I don't remember exactly why, but this one was good. But it had like magic. I don't know. I feel like it's harder to write. I mean, fantasy it really just uses magic. Magic isn't the one I was thinking of. Damn. Okay, I remember the one I'm thinking of. Specifically, I was thinking of Ink Spell. It's my bad. Did you
I
read that
think
one?
I've read it. Oh,
It was like Ink Spell, Ink Death, something or other. There's something in between. I don't know. Ink Spell, TLDR, there was a book series for young adults as well. Um, that had like this like family, and the girl and her dad have the ability to like read characters off a page into real life.
I
And
remember this now.
okay, cool. And they can also like read themselves into books, but it's like not supposed to happen. But technically, isn't that like an isekai? Like technically, I don't know, but I'm just thinking like technically I think everything runs on like templates. I feel like it's just templates and then you just have to like make the characters unique enough that people like care about them. And then if the templates do well, then ultimately you'll remember the thing for being original, even if it started out having a template. I don't know. I'm just trying to theorize things. But you want to rate it, I guess?
Sure.
Okay, cool. Art. Huh. Well, art, huh? Uh
It's
it's got
good.
art. It's pretty good. The the fighting's pretty neat. Character uses swords, which is nice. A lot of the ones where the character uses like magic, it's harder to tell what the fuck's going on. The character uses swords, and it's pretty cool to see him like swing them around.
They're really good at drawing different animals. Kind of
We've
surprising.
got a cute animal mascot, of course.
Do
Gotta
they?
love Rain. Yeah, I got the little puppy Rain.
Oh yeah. I mean, it doesn't appear as often as I'd like it. It doesn't do anything.
It doesn't. It's there as a convenient side story to show the sister like holding the puppy. That's it.
Yeah.
What are all of these animal mascots for? They're just there to sit there and look pretty and farm like admiration points, cuteness points.
Buffalo actually like contribute to the story. Like I don't know. I feel like they don't just have to be cute art pieces. They can have their own personality and have like a companionship with the main character.
Yeah, they can. They could also be like the great estate developer and only show up when they're needed. and have no other story outside of that.
And the guys stage developer, they interact with the main character kind of. Like
They
some of them have like
sort
small
they did in the
personalities.
beginning, and then like
Yeah,
you as time goes on here, it's just returned back to Lloyd
weird.
being a piece of shit.
Yeah.
But you know, you read it for his faces. You don't read it for this character animals. Animals are cute, but like his faces seal the deal. The man's got such beautiful expressions. I if I ever need like face reference, I should probably just go look at that webcomic. It's got such good faces. I've never seen anything like it. It's genuinely beautiful. Love it. The art for this one is not bad. It's not like stellar, I guess. I'll give it a 7.
We'll give it an 8.
All right. Pretty good art scores like usual. Time to see if we'll knock it down a peg at story. The story. No, it's got a
The
story.
story.
Uh, your typical main character is weak and gets stronger as he goes on. Which, I mean, if we're looking at from it like not considering everything else it's sort of modeled off on, it's like he just sort of does the thing that everyone else does in these, where he just,
Gets stronger.
yeah, he gets stronger, he goes into more dungeons and more gates, and he gets even stronger.
Or he meets side characters that help him get stronger. Or he meets
Or he meets like a mentor who
yeah.
conveniently gives him all of their teachings for no real reason, really.
There's like a little bit of there's more story in this than most, I guess. But it's like such a small percentage more that doesn't really
I
matter.
mean, a lot of these, I mean, arguably, right? A lot of these, it's like, oh, well, the story you'll get to at like, at least for like probably novel readers, it's like, oh, well, you've got to read until like chapter 500, and then you really understand what's going on. Yeah, okay, but like the manhwa itself is like going really, really slow because, you know, obviously they're like drawing out each chapter. By the time we get there, it's gonna be like way later.
It's gonna be like 3 years from now, yeah, or something like that.
One Piece, you know? It's on its final arc, apparently. I do not see how it's gonna wrap up. I see parts of it, but I do not know. I still don't know how most of the arcs in One Piece even like I don't know. I don't know. Because I believe One Piece is supposed to end this year.
Yeah, that's what Oda says he wants
But
to.
I don't feel like it's ending. In contrast, without being too spoilery, I can see JJK ending this year. JJK's got a simple enough plot that it can probably end this year if they wanted to. But JJK is pretty big right now. I doubt it'll be actually ending. Um, I feel like even in JJK, the story's out of climax right now, manga wise. But I don't know. Story, this one, it's got a story. It's not great. It's not horrible. Still better than Seven Face Charco, I think.
Yeah, it's a
So,
black.
we give it a 7, I guess. It's really not horrible.
I I
Okay.
have so much to say about the author's story writing. I feel like let's put aside just the overall outline and just
Yeah.
talk about like just reading it panel page to page.
Mm-hmm.
This author puts so little of the actual like flow of the story in. Instead, we get random reactions from characters left and right who are like, "Wow, that was cool," or like they'll be like, "Do you think the main character would be do this or that?" And they're like, "No, the main character's too good. He's too great to do that." Like every other panel is some reaction to the main character instead of the actual story. It's so you just read it, you're like, okay, story, reactions by other characters to the main character, more story.
I mean, in a
Oh,
way, it's sort of hype, right? Maybe.
it's like they're trying to hype up. They're not trying to hype up. Sometimes they're just like arbitrarily trying to like add in side comments that are so unnecessary, and it just reading it and you're just going, cool. I don't
Is this
know.
still
That's
about
what they think.
the oh my god, coming from that direction? Do you feel it?
There's that,
I
but that only
feel
happens
the
like three
power of
times.
like two immensely strong rankers dueling it out. They must be fighting, but who could it be? That shit.
But
That's only
there's
part of
this
it.
moment. There's this moment where people are just where they're worried that the MC would like turn evil or do something bad, and then they were like, no, he would never.
Oh, I know the moment you're
And I
talking
had so
about.
many problems because first of all, he literally killed someone for revenge. Like he killed an entire branch of a guild for revenge. So they're just wrong.
Their
But
perception of evil of the main character is that none of these people actually saw him do what he did.
no, it was like the Demon King or the girl, um, and then the association president, and then the association president's sons. I was like, these people all know he killed a branch just for revenge.
Well, the Demon King's probably more so fine with it, and
Yeah, yeah.
the association president's son is in love with the main character's mom, so he's
It's
basically just his
delusional.
stepdad. So he's yeah a little swayed by love, I think. And the association's uh president, well, he's the dad of the son, so so
Uh,
everyone's just letting their personal emotions get ahead of themselves, even though they're supposed to be impartial. I feel uh
it's,
everyone's corrupt. This isn't a story where things actually make sense. Everyone's just corrupt. And you know what? People had a right to believe he was evil, I think. If you look at him,
he
he's
is.
literally evil. He
Yeah.
everyone talks about it, they hint about it, right? They hint about how like this guy has too much power. Like, oh my god, he's the power to cause a dungeon break by himself. He's like insane. You should never reveal this to people. But like, you know he's got this power. You keep alluding to these like way stronger people than him, you know? But like at this point it's starting to feel like he's gonna get stronger. He will perpetually get stronger. At what point will he become too unstoppable for the world to defeat? Obviously, he's the main character, he'll probably not actually be evil. But, you know, theoretically speaking, what's stopping him from just being like, you know, what's it? I grow stronger when I eat, where the main character is literally unstoppable and just continuously grows to be even more stupidly unstoppable. There's nothing. They've got all these like secret organizations that are supposed to keep everything in check. But from what I see it, the main character literally can like wipe everyone off the map.
Main character also like I don't get what his motivation for doing anything is. Like in the beginning, you know what? He was
No, he's got his mom in the
struggling.
beginning.
He was his mom. Then randomly we had the arc where he just tried killing things. After that, like he has no purpose after that. Like and it really like showed throughout the story because freaking all he did was go through dungeons and follow whatever contrived plot happened. But like none of them were actually like his goals. They just were events that he responded to. It was I don't know. At some point, it just felt like turning the page to see what happens.
I maybe I it's like yeah, I don't know. I w- I guess I have to ask this sort of genuinely. And I feel like I probably know your answer maybe. But would you prefer that they do this where they just show you every single thing that happens, or would you prefer that they just go 3 years later and then introduce a whole bunch of shit that you didn't really know about, but you just have to
I don't.
accept because they
I don't
just
like.
skip through it?
I don't mind that they like show like I don't know, the process of him getting stronger, but it has to be connected to like an interesting story. Like you can't just have this guy moving through his world life. Like, why am I here reading this?
But why
Like,
not? He's the main character. You read because you
like,
like him, right? Right,
uh,
right, right, right.
are you, if the main character was interesting, then I could actually tolerate it. You're right. But if we go to the character score, you'll see.
Oh, oh boy. What will you give
I'm
a
gonna give
story
the
though?
story like give it a 5. It's average.
Expected lower. I was expected lower from you. Lower or higher. Alright, characters. You know what? You wanna go first? It seems like you've got more to say. Please go ahead.
I like have no attachment to a single character. Like usually in these stories, like the side characters are at least funny or
Uh
interesting. I have so little attachment. There's no cute animal either. What the fuck?
no, hold on. There's the
Uh,
dog rain wolf thing, but it
oh,
only shows up
oh
like three
yeah.
times. It shows up at the end of a chapter, maybe as a
Uh,
treat. Yeah, there's not.
they, why are
You
none of
like
the
swords? You think
characters
swords are cute?
uh the
Uh,
swords don't even like do anything except
I
for
don't know.
clip
One of
on
them
the
turned into a lolly. That
oh that's true.
uh, there's this running joke that shows up in the Asura comments chat that I think is quite funny. Where a user named Mikey at some point commented on I don't remember which one it was. It was which one? It was player who returned 10,000 years later. The user commented and said for a certain chapter, at least she's not a lolly, I think was the comment. And it was upon this guy, the main character in that one, receiving this like dragon as a pet. And the next chapter, the dragon decided to become a human and immediately became a lolly. And then so ever since then, every person comments on things anytime like a character is introduced and it's like, well, at least they're not a lolly. It's a pretty funny, like haha funny. I enjoy it. But yeah. You, and no characters though. You don't like the association president or the sun or Demon King
we,
or Ball or
we don't know anything about anyone
Ice
except
Guy.
kind of the main character. Like Ice Guy is cool, but like what has he like who is he?
He's done a lot off
like
screen apparently that the main character's in debt for, but we don't know what.
uh,
Yeah, no, I we
we
don't
don't
know
know like
anything
there's
about the
so
Demon
many
King except that she
characters.
wants to kill the Demon King. We don't know much about Ball except that he's a demon. The association president once again is just an old guy,
Quiet, oiled,
and
powerful.
the association president's son is basically Kim Gi-gyu's stepdad, give or take. Like, just a father figure who's also in love with his biological mom. So honestly, just get fucking married already. It'll make things make more sense. It'd be neat as well. It tied the family together. We got
It's just
Brunhart. You like talking to armor?
Bernhardt. Yeah,
Brunhart's a character technically, as Lou and Ellie
yeah,
are.
yeah. They've talked a lot.
They
They-
exist. Yeah, they talk to the main character a lot. Lou's like very
I'm not sure
evil,
if
and Ellie's very righteous, and Brunhart's a child. It's about it.
like that. Uh,
Really though, no characters. I
um,
can't think of any others either. Aside from the ones listed, like what else could you get attached to? Rogers? If you're attached to Rogers, you're a psychopath. Why the fuck would you be attached to Rogers? Iron Guild Shield Master,
Leaf
Iron
Guild
Shield Guild
Queen.
Master. You really can't get attached to him. He shows up like 3 times. What about the number one ranker of the top 10 guilds? Oh, right, he shows up like 3 times, and
Yeah.
we don't know anything about him. What
This,
about the old guy that made weapons? Oh yeah, he like just sort
yeah.
of like died and became an ego. Oh
Uh,
right, uh-huh. What about his son or his grandson? Oh yeah, right. They weren't explained. Nothing was explained to us.
like, I just don't understand. Why can't the author just create like a story surrounding the characters and not the ending always be main
Well,
character beats up
honestly, why
something,
can't the
gets
author
conquered?
create a story where the main character isn't the only one that exists? Like, why is everyone else just more than ever in this world? Everyone else just sort of exists to help empower the main character, I think. Which, a lot of these do. But at least a lot of them at least also have like, the I don't know. I call this like the JoJo like style. I don't know, but like everyone else usually at least has like these like 2 or 3 side characters that are like the fleshed out side characters that follow along the character in their journey, you know?
Do
But
they?
they usually do. Well, oh, they, you know, it, in the Asura realm of things, you see them, but they're not friends. They're not comrades. They're
Guinea pigs?
th- listen. The main.
Maybe
I'm just saying what
servants?
this character says. They're slaves.
Yeah. Oh, you're right.
I wish people in webtoons would stop calling their friends slaves. What the fuck? I don't know, like they're workhorses or like my little money makers. I don't know, like piggy banks. Yeah, so transactional. If I was the main character's friend, I would not want to be their friend. I'd honestly try to be a villain to kill the main character. Just be like, You've had too much fun. Stop that." All right, what do you give?
The characters of the
Hmm.
story. Oh, the characters. Oh my god, they deserve like a two.
Fair. Who's carrying the two? If I can ask. Ever since the
Mm,
Winton episode, I think we could just go lower.
Who's carrying the two? Well, I didn't
Yeah.
hate them. They're not. It's well, no, not the little the people that are carrying the two are maybe this Kyokun or the ice guy friend,
Mm-hmm.
maybe the demon king lady.
Oh, so little about her. You literally don't know anything about her. Except that she's
She's
got like
pretty
half a
funny.
ball. And that means something. And she's got like ink powers, I guess. Which is
Yeah,
neat, but I
yeah.
I
I just think they're neat a little bit, even
yeah.
though they don't matter at all.
I mean in the same way, I guess I'll throw this in the ring. I like the association president's son. The like father figure. He's neat. I like him. He's just like cool, durable tanker guy
Mhm.
with like a cool weapon, I guess. Uh, Yeah, you know,
Yeah.
I wanted you to go first because I felt like you would give me like reasoning that I could sort of base it off. But now that I think about it, I also don't really care about any of these characters. I honestly do not care about the main character. I care more about his swords, and that's only because you're like forced to care about his swords.
But like,
My favorite character probably is the Lich. Art, the Lich that
oh,
exists
oh, he
inside
has a
Brynheart.
really funny dialogue. Yeah,
He's got like very stupid dialogue on par with like Biru from Solo Leveling, where he just sort of like assumes things and thinks them.
yeah.
It's good, but it's not enough of a. The main character is just really OP for no good reason. I mean, obviously it's a power fantasy, so you're gonna expect that stuff to happen, but it's it's not. It doesn't. I
He's not very compelling because he's not very like. driven to do anything. So
No,
he
no,
has
he's driven by revenge.
like he completed it. Like you can't cheer him
No,
on.
no, no, no. He's driven by revenge of killing the entire Iron Shield Guild.
Oh, you're right.
He's
He
gonna get
doesn't
revenge on the
work towards
everyone
it.
who dealt with him. Rogers
He
may have
doesn't
tortured
do
him,
anything.
but he needs to get revenge on everyone. Does he
I
though? I don't think. Will he ever?
I think that arc is long past. If it continues on, it's gonna be like a gag moment where he's like, the Iron Guild Nest is like, "Can you really face me?" And he squashes them like a bug, and it's like, oh my god, you
Yeah,
completed
it'll
your
be like
revenge.
when he
So
fights Rogers and they're
cool.
like, "Oh, when'd you get so weak?" Haha, it turns out I just got really strong. Oh, ho, 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 hee hee.
Oh my god, I can
Uh,
already see it now on ground. I'm
you
not
know
gonna give it.
what? Yeah, let's give it a 2. We'll give it a 2 for him having a loving mom and a loving dad in the form of the association president's son. There, he's got parents. Cool. He gives a 2. Uh, that makes it uh fun. Time to do math. That's a 7.5 plus a 2 plus a 6. Oh, not a 30, right? Oh,
Yeah.
this one's sort of low. Lower than I feel like we usually go, damn. Uh, oh damn. We've got a 5.16.
Oh, deserved.
You know, fair. They can't all be winners. And this one definitely wasn't a winner. So,
If you're
guess
this long, your story better go somewhere. Like, every single time, like, just wait till chapter 80. I'm here. Where is it?
listen, I didn't tell you anything about this one. I was not enthused when you suggested it, honestly. When you suggested it, I was like, this one, really? The long fucker with like no plot?
Usually they get a plot at some point. Where is it?
It's got
Doesn't
one,
the
it's
author
just
like
sort of
wake up?
generic, to be fair.
It doesn't like really like go down the line of the plot. Like it's like the plot is like snippets of conversations like every other panel. They're never like actually doing the plot, like investigating, or he's never actually trying to get revenge. I,
Well, no, he's trying to get revenge by getting stronger. And, in
I
due time, he'll get revenge, maybe. That surely makes sense.
I feel like every panel, every chapter, every arc has to actually like push something, like be an interesting story. I don't know. We can't just see him walking into a dungeon. Someone dies,
But he
then he'll
gets stronger. His swords are leveling up. He's doing his dailies, Chris. Come on. Yeah, I don't know.
so
I don't want to defend this one. It's
especially if
pretty
they
bad.
do it for 80 chapters. You can't do this to me. I read through it all. I didn't even read through it all actually.
You
For
don't
80.
you worry if you keep reading. How many chapters is this currently at? 113. If you keep 113 chapters later, it's still nothing. We got him being super evil. Cool. That's yep. Nothing has been done since, really.
What
The
does he even want to do?
authors are mysterious creatures. You'll never
What's
know. You
the
never know what they've got. Honestly, it depends on how long this thing. Actually, hold on. Let me look this up. Player who can't level up. The player who can't level up manga. Player who can't level up web novel. Wisho World. Oh, it's got a 55% rating on Wisho World. Damn.
good
25
or
reviews.
bad?
Hold on. Let's read some of the reviews, shall we?
Mhm.
The top review though recommended. This is pretty fun. Much more slice of life than most similar stories. The MC is likable, not naive, and polite.
What?
Both before and after he gets his power up, he is never hateful towards his situation or anyone. Huh? My only problem with it is it is clear that the author has never done or doesn't understand martial arts, combat sports, or physical training. Despite spending 5 years hunting goblins, the main character still takes over an hour to kill one. This is impossible for several reasons. First of all, the main character never improved his fighting skills during that time. Second, he never got more in shape during that time. And finally, it looks like he took just as long as his first time hunting goblins. It also mentions his physical abilities are similar to an average human. An average human will gas out hard after only a few minutes of fighting, and if you haven't trained, you will likely die after an hour of fighting for your life. Anyways, if you don't mind the lack of logic when it comes to training and improving skills and physical abilities, then I think it's an enjoyable novel. Has this
Okay.
person read past like one chapter? Like 5 chapters? 10 chapters?
That's okay. They're
One of the
saving
comments
themselves.
to the review is after reading your review, I don't feel like reading it after anymore. That's fair. That's valid. I appreciate that. Oh, that's really funny actually. There's one that's not recommended. Stopped reading at chapter 59. I don't know where chapter 59 is in the novel. Honestly, probably around chapter like 60 or 70 in Webtoon, I'd assume. Uh, Base premise was interesting enough. Each chapter chipped away at my interest. The incident through which the MC decides to grow stronger is not convincing enough and quite poorly written, in my opinion. Uh, huh. Even though the grammar is top notch, the writing seems to be from a 12-year-old. Wow,
Ooh.
you're rough.
Oh,
Yeah, here's one calling it a solo leveling clone.
it is.
Here's a recommended one. It says looks fun. Looks
What do you mean
fun.
looks fun? Didn't you read it?
It's a fun read so far. I think it's going to be a standard OPMC novel. The author seems to put a large importance on relationships between people.
What?
Should we just read
Actually, that is
the web novel? Is it like way better? So far, all the
the
characters seem have been written well and the set piece is enjoyable.
what?
You know, sometimes I think maybe just by reviewing the webtoon, we do lose out on probably like a way better web novel.
Probably fair.
But I mean, listen, this is podcast about reviewing webtoons, so we're not gonna read the web novel. Even though I feel like a lot of the comments that I see on YouTube, if anyone does comment on these videos, is always someone being like, the webtoon's better or the web novel's better. Yeah, it is better. It probably is better. It definitely, probably, very much is better. But there's a level of. They should be working at least with these studios to make it correct, at least. I don't know. Like, just because it's better doesn't mean this can't be good. Solo Leveling is great as a novel and still quite good as a webtoon. Not as good, I would say, but still quite good. There's
About
no
the same,
reason.
honestly.
I- Isn't the time for this? we'll, we'll talk about this some point else. Am I picking something before we go?
Yeah.
I think so. Cool. I'm gonna just suggest that we read something good, I think. I feel like we should always read something good, and then you'll just suggest things that are less good.
All right. What are we reading?
Well, I say good, and now I'm staring at these and I'm like, are any of these good? Did we review I Grow Stronger by Eating? I think we did, right?
No, we
We
haven't.
haven't. Actually haven't.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't think we should review that one. Not yet, at least. That one's still so pain. If I
Um,
reviewed it, I would not have a terrible enjoyed desire. Oh, hold on. This one, I feel like we both talked about it. I don't think I'll enjoy it. Oh, it's got a 9.8 on Asura though. Oh, maybe. Maybe it is good.
struggling. Oh,
Alright, I'm gonna
not
update the
playing good.
title. And you, I think, have at least mentioned this one to me.
What are we reviewing?
We are reading Sleeping Ranker.
Okay.
Uh, does it sound familiar? Ring a bell?
I have read that one.
Oh, cool. You'll be so enthused to read it again. I have not read this one. I read like 3 chapters in, and I decided that his skill was fucking stupid.
Oh no, that's not my same experience. Wait, okay.
Okay, cool. I read up to the point where it's like, oh yeah, my skill is like when I fall asleep, I like auto fight.
I auto win, yeah.
And I was like, this is really, really stupid. This is just called my skill is plot armor. Fight me. I'll go to sleep now. Yeah. No, it's got 71 chapters. Surely 71 chapters means something good, right? Surely. That sounds like it's gonna mean something good. So, until next time, I suppose. Unless you got something else to say. Oh, yeah, we should. You wanna, like, show the YouTube, Chris?
Yeah, smash that like button, drop kick the subscribe.
Yeah,
Come
you heard
ouch.
him. Smash that like button and, yeah, fucking hit the subscribe button with the force of your demonified ego. Yeah. Ah, the
Yeah.
pain. It's catching up. I can't do that shit anymore. Okay. Yeah, if you like the video, cool. Let us know what you want. Let us know honestly if you have any suggestions of anything to read. It can be really shit or it can be really good. Uh, but yeah, if you made it this far, cool. Thank you. We'll see you next time.